Hello, this is Christian and welcome back to my computer and Fusion 360. Today I'm playing around with this cycloid shape, like the Cycloid Pump. Uh, you have maybe seen this shape, you can see this in pumps. I think most people have most probably seen it more in this configuration, where you see it in blower. And I'm spinning around like a drunk. I'm not drunk. This is three spokes on the same thing, and then they are twisted to create this. You can see this in high pressure pumps, compressors on cars, and some other things. It's based on the same shape. This is not going to talk on how this shape works. I'm going to just try to recreate it in Fusion. I'm going to remove this one. We're going to remove this one. I'm going to have a look at this first. What shape we're trying to do is known as a cycloid. And we're gonna do dry joints. What it is, it's a circle rolling on following a line, as in this case is follow a circle. We're going to talk in a while. And the shape we're looking for is a point on this small circle as it rolls around. You can see it follows the curve on the outside. These are known curves. There are equations for them. The thing is that Fusion cannot handle equations directly for lines. There are other software can do that. So if you want to make this really machined 100% accurately, I will not use this workflow I'm using here. I will do an approximation of this curve using splines. That was always an approximation. It's not really true. We try to have a look at it at the end, if I remember it. But that's the shape we're trying to do. If you want to read more about these, they are called Epicycloid. If you have them running on the outside, so a small circle is running outside, in this case it's running 3 times around. Or if you're running on the inside, it's a hypocycloid. You can see it here, like that, running nicely around. So that's the thing we're trying to do, which I just demonstrated here. So I'm going to remove this one. I prepared a file. The only thing I've done is I created a part A, which we're going to start with now. So create component. And we're going to start our first sketch on the base here. We're going to start with circle construction. Make sure I'm in the right position. I'm in the right component. Yes. I'm going to make this 100 millimeters. It's up to you. Pull this out. We're going to need a circle up here, which are going to be tangent to the first circle. And we're going to make it horizontal, so we know where it is. So it's going to be straight up, and it needs a dimension. This circle is going to be running 4 times around this one. This, of course, is the classic thing. The circumference of a circle is the diameter times pi, and as we're doing times pi in both equations, we can forget about that. So the only thing we need to do is take this diameter and divide it by 4, like that. And to get the dimension out of the way, this is the only dimension we're going to use. We're going to turn off show dimensions so we don't see them. We're going to hide them. And we're going to start to do some lines. We're going to need some help lines here. I will not explain totally how this works because that's too much for my brain right now. Early morning. This line, this center point. And I don't want to do a full. I don't want to do, they are repetitive. These lines around here, we're going to do half of them anyway. So we're going to choose an angle. And that's going to be 180 degrees. Thank you. I want to do a 12-point cycloid. This means I need 12 spokes here. This means on 180 degrees, I need 7. If you think about this, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we start over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But 12 total, because we're doing half of them, which makes it be cleaner. And we're going to need 2 of these circles. This is for the outer one. We're going to need 1 on the inside. So let's be lazy and use circular patterns again. Normally, I avoid pattern in sketch it, but in this case it makes it a bit easier. I selected all of these from right to left. Center point's going to be this one. Is one to make 3 of them. I say no, I want 2 of them, like that. That is our help to create where we're going to hit the point. So now we're going to do the circle. We still have help geometry. We are just going to do circle to each point. This is going to be a lot of construction line in a short while. I hope you are tagging along. We are going to do like this and this. Oh, this is so much fun, just doing circles. Like that. And we do once again do a circular pattern. Now we have the circles around the center point. Now we need to get this circle to move around, but we're looking for our intersection between the small circles and all of the circles. So we do a circular pattern again. On this circle, center point down here, tell it to do at angle, and what angle we're going to do, the cycle we're going to do is going to cover 90 degrees. But as I have already had drawn half of the spokes, I will also only do half of the full arc of a cycloid. So that's going to be 45 degrees. And on that, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the same amount of circles as the amount of spokes we did earlier. That would be 7. We do a circular pattern again, and I can show you one of the mistakes I sometimes do. I select the object, and I forget to select the center point. I hit angle, and I forgot the center point. When I pick up the center point, I still do not get the angle. What you have to do is a small bug, I think. Go back to full, go back to angle, and you get the total angle input box. And I hit it with 45, which of course is the wrong direction. It's going to minus 45, and once again 7 like that. That looks good. Now we're going to start doing points, which we're going to use to do a spline later. So S on the keyboard and PO to find the point command. We're going to start up here. The first point and the last one can be a bit tricky. It's supposed to be coinciding to the outmost circle and the first circle here. And if we just put it here, I'm going to open up a sketch. You see it's fully defined. When I put this point here, I'll lose the full definition. I hit escape to get out of a point command. And if I take this point and drag it around, you can see it only got coincided to one of the circles. So what I do, coincident, circle selected, and the outer one. And we are back to fully defined sketch. Once again, S for point, so you don't make mistakes. First circle, second circle from the outside is there. We have the third circle intersecting with the third circle, and we have the fourth circle intersecting with fourth. Here we have to be careful, they're quite close. And we have the fifth one there, and we have the sixth one. You are there, we're still fully defined, so we hit all the points correctly. But this point is already done, as that is the connection point between the circles in the middle here. Now we had to find this one, which can be a bit tricky. It's really close here, so we be careful to hit it correctly. And then we have this one, this one. If I make this total wrong, please tell me. I can be total off. I'm not a really true mathematician. I'm just a geek like the rest of you. That point. And of course, now we have the last one. And once again, if I put it here, it can be not fully defined anymore. I'm going to put it out here just to keep it simple for myself. Tell a coincident between this one and that one. And we have the fully defined sketch again. I want this sketch to be fully defined, so this is a stable sketch that doesn't create stupid things for me. Finish sketch. With that, I'm going to create a new sketch. This is going to be my spline sketch. Hit S, and I write in project. Oh, you can hit P for project. You actually want to do that. I just forget that sometimes. We're going to project in the points. We're going to find our points. This point, that point, that point, that one. Just pick all the points you need. This cleans up the sketch a bit. I try to avoid to put splines in a sketch with already that much pattern geometry, because it gets a bit confused. We have 13 points. That seems to be correct. We're going to turn off the first sketch. It's a bit easier to see. Do a spline. Click here. And here's a small tip. If you by mistake miss one point and hit the next one, oh, I missed a point, and you hit escape to start over, you can do Control Z or undo up here. And by doing that, we skip back 1 point and we can start over again. Just because I did it, I will most probably hit the wrong point down here, or can I be good? Like that. And we finish the command by hitting the green marker like that. I'm going to do 2 lines, as I want to make this profile from the center point out to here, from the center point out to here. And now I want to do 2 constraints. And the constraints I want to do perpendicular, because this end handle here needs to be perpendicular to this line, so that this surface here keeps on being smooth around. I think it's quite close to being perpendicular at the start anyway, but I like to add that. And There should really be a constraint also the middle handle here, but it's really hard to find, and I want to mess around with the spline because in most cases I do that, I break the spline. So I'm going to be pleased here, hit finish sketch, E on the keyboard to extrude it 10 millimeters up, and we have a little body. We're going to hide the sketch for now. We're going to do mirrors. The good thing with the new mirror command is when we choose the mirror plane here, it makes operation join. So we get one full body the whole time. We have a body as mirror once again, this body, cross this plane here, and we hit OK. And by doing that, we have made the first part. So we're going to need two parts. So just to make things a bit easier to see, I hit A, and we're going to make this one blue. And that's a dark blue. I want a bit lighter blue, and more like that, so we can see it. And by that, I'm going to make a copy of this one now. So I'm going to mark the component up here, right-click, select copy, right-click. I can move up to the base of a root of a system here. Right-click and say paste new, because I don't, if I paste, it creates a copy, a component copy that is linked to the first one. Paste new copies everything, but makes it into a new component that is not locked into things. I will not move it around. I just place it here because I'm going to use joints to move it where I want it. I'm going to hide the first component, and I'm going to add a different color here, yellow like that, so we can differentiate them. They are both there. And now I'll just create a sketch. I make sure I am at the bottom here. I make a sketch for the joints. I'm going to make a line here, and in this case the line is the same as the diameter as the circle we made at the beginning, so be 100 millimeters. And now we're going to start doing some joints. I'm going to finish sketch. Turn off the first component, turn it on the sketch ended up on the bottom, so I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to do a joint. I'm going to find this point in the middle here, and it hides the component for now. I'm going to once again hit that. And it already applied a rotation we call it revolute type of joints, so that's correct. So we're going to hit OK. Then I'm going to hide that component for now, turn on that component, turn around once again, assemble, create joint, or just joint here, hit here, and now this part should be connected to this point on the sketch out here. Also revolute, hit OK, turn on both components so we can see them, like that, and we are going to hide this sketch so I don't want to see that line anymore. We're going to make a motion link. The two joints we have are these two, and yep, they are spinning the wrong way. What we do, we just hit reverse. This is the revolution first, wait a second, it will reverse. We are going to do a nice motion like that, and we have basically created the thing we wanted to do. Hit OK. The only thing is, if I go into joints here and now do dry joints, and I think I need to move it over slightly, like this, something like 15 degrees, just to show you what happens. Hit OK. And if I now do an inspect, interference inspect on, yeah, I need to capture position, thank you, these two, and do compute, you see there is a tiny, it's really small, but they are touching each other. I think this is a result of that this curve I'm doing is an approximation, or it might be something else which I don't really understand of this one. Somehow it's a good idea. Please leave a comment. But so the thing I want to repeat here is that this is an approximation of this curve. If you're going to do this in a high precision environment, you should not use approximations. You should use mathematically driven curves to make everything 100% correct. But yeah, this is how I would do it. This animated again because it's fun to see things spin around. And you can of course divide it more parts, do a twisted sweep to create like the blower motor, more like that. But yep, that's what I wanted to share today. I hope you have found some interesting thing of this semi-long video. And by that, bye and see you around. Take care.